All right, welcome back to Drew Pearson Live. Today we have a very special guest. He's a published author in medicine and a well-known inspirational speaker as well. Please welcome, all the way from Colombia originally, but been in the United States well over 30 years, yes. Dr. Luis Gaviria. Doctor, thanks for taking the time to be, pump it up, bam.
All right. Thank you for having me, Drew.
All right, so how's things going?
Beautiful.
Good?
Yes.
Good? All right, I heard you're a psychophysiologist.
Yes.
Tell me what that is.
Well, it has to do with how emotions affect our bodies,
yes,
our health. And I was also part of a neurosurgery team in charge of patients while they were operated. Mm-hmm. And I do that.
Yeah, so you say thoughts and emotions affect physical health?
Absolutely.
And how does that affect physical health?
It's very simple. Every time that we have an emotion, something real happens inside. Mm-hmm. We produce those are chemicals that grow from our brain into our body, and some of them create inflammation. Mm. Some of them affect the immune system. Mm-hmm. And it's emotions are not something to take lightly.
Right.
Yeah.
And I understand you're the director of Neuroscience and Coaching Institute.
Yes.
And tell us about that.
Oh, thank you. Well, after I left my clinical practice, we decided that we, meaning my wife and I, mm-hmm. I was going to devote my
her name.
Oh, yes, it is Beatrice. I love that lady.
Love it.
We decided that I was going to devote the rest of my time to teach other people and to train coaches, not only in sports, but also in the corporate arena, and also leaders all over the world. It's based in neuroscience, and we have students from 28 countries.
Wow,
yes.
That's pretty impressive. So how does neuroscience apply to professional sports or sports in general?
Oh, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. We know that training in itself is the thing, yeah? But the emotional state in which players are at a given moment, it certainly plays a big role in performance. Mm-hmm. So when we have the chance to teach players how to get into that state of flow, and not getting rid of adrenaline. We need that adrenaline in the field.
Yeah, definitely.
And when we can have someone focused on what is needed to make it, they go and they kick, what they kick.
Well, are there any tips you can that you can use to apply to family or sports teams or even corporations? I'm sure you had the opportunity to speak to all these different groups.
Yes. Number one, we are kind of lonesome human beings, isolated. We need to start creating a culture of we. The us, not only in the family, connecting with people, trying to find what we have in common. So whatever we do in that regard is going to create a whole different approach to life in terms of sports, family, and everything. And it's getting out and connecting, reaching out and see what we have in common. That's a very powerful
how do we make that connection? How do we, find that connection?
Thank you, Drew.
That define that.
Number one, listening. Number one, it's like we are always ready to talk. We are ready to give our take in a given situation. What about asking someone, like the other day, my wife and a friend and I were just having this beer, and all of a sudden it jumps. What makes your heart sing, Drew? Oh, it takes you by surprise.
Right.
And we start to talk about those things, and beautiful things come out. And we start connecting at a very different level. So asking the right questions, that's another one.
Well, those are good tips, and we thank you for joining us and offering that to Drew Pearson Live.
I'm ecstatic to be here. Thank you.
All right, Dr. Luis Gaviria hanging out at Drew Pearson Live with some great tips. Hope you're listening. To get more information and get some free material from Dr. Gaviria, please visit luisgaviria.com. With football season right around the corner, it's time to gear up for those fantasy drafts. And what better way to do that than to attend the first ever National Fantasy Football Convention in Las Vegas. More details when DPL returns.